Hi, this is Peter Gallagher from LousyWriter.com. I am glad to host another tutorial on writing in Chicago style. In this session, I will go over some basic guidelines on how to format a paper in Chicago style. To see examples and for additional writing advice in relation to this tutorial, please visit our website, LousyWriter.com, and download our free ebook entitled Writing Styles for College Students. The basic guidelines for creating a thesis, dissertation, or formal paper using Chicago style are straightforward. Most of them use common sense rules and formatting options. Use some of the guidelines I am going to present here to format your thesis or dissertation using Chicago style. The first is abbreviations. Abbreviations appear more frequently in formal papers now versus a few decades ago. If you choose to use abbreviations, stick with common ones. However, do not use abbreviations for expressions of dimensions, such as miles. When using abbreviations that contain two periods, such as US, as in U period S period, do not add a space after the first period. The next guideline is alignment. Chicago style requires left justification of all text, minus indentions, but it allows for either ragged right or full justification of text. If you choose full justification, Chicago style requires you to ensure that the spacing between words is minimal and that hyphens used to break words at the end of a line are used correctly and sparingly. Your word processing software should enable you to follow these rules for full justification, unless you have numerous extremely large words in your paper. Capitalization. Beyond typical sentences, Chicago style allows for two types of capitalization. Headline style capitalization calls for capitalizing all words, other than articles, certain prepositions, and conjunctions. Sentence style capitalization calls for capitalizing only the first word, a word after a colon, and proper nouns. The next guideline is using correcting fluid. You may use a white correcting fluid to cover black specks and spray spots on the final paper. Using the date. Chicago style allows for two date formats. The first date format is the day, month, and year, such as the number 31, March 2009. The second date format is a more typical format, which is March 31, 2009, and that's just listing the month, day, and year. Just be certain that you select one format and stick with it throughout your paper. Next is the font. If you're using a word processor, stick with a serif font, such as Times New Roman. Use text in a 10 or 12 point size. A computer-generated font is preferred to a typewriter because the computer can create italicized text more easily than a typewriter. Hyphenation. With Chicago style, you may break words with a hyphen at the end of a line in your main text, but you should not hyphenate words at the end of two consecutive lines. Indentions. Indent paragraphs within the main text of the paper 1/2 inch or 5 to 8 spaces. Chicago style does not require a specific indentation measurement, but it does require that writers use the same amount of indentation throughout the paper. Margins. For all four sides of the paper, use a 1-inch margin. However, if the paper will be bound on the left, a wider margin is allowed on the left side. Using numbers. Spell out and use words for all numbers through 100 in Chicago style. For numbers larger than 100, use numerals. There are exceptions, and these exceptions include: spell out all numbers that start a sentence. Use numerals for all percentages and decimal numbers. And use numerals for all numbers within a series of amounts. Next is page numbering. Number almost every page in the paper with Arabic numerals, other than the pages that lead into the main text, such as the copyright, dedication, and table of contents pages. All of these pages, which Chicago style calls display pages, should be numbered with lowercase Roman numerals. Do not number the title page, but count the title page among the display pages. The next page should be blank, or the copyright page, and it is not numbered. The page following the blank or copyright page should be numbered in Roman numerals, centered at the bottom of the page. At the beginning of the main text, switch from Roman numerals to Arabic numerals and place the number 1 in the upper right corner of the page. If, however, a page contains a chapter heading or another type of main heading, you can center the Arabic numeral at the bottom of the page. Number all blank pages and any other pages. The pagination should run consecutively. Place all page numbers at least 3/4 of an inch from the edge of the paper. Next is paper type. I recommend using standard white 20-pound bond paper that measures 8.5 by 11 inches. If using a computer, use an inkjet or laser printer to print the paper. Next is spacing. Use double spacing throughout the paper's main text. However, block quotation, endnotes, footnotes, headings, and captions may be single-spaced according to Chicago style. Lastly, we have the title. Center all text on the title page, both horizontally and vertically. All text should be uppercase and double spaced too. To see examples and for additional writing advice in relation to this tutorial, please visit our website, lousywriter.com, and download our free ebook entitled Writing Styles for College Students.